morning. Minnie Crockwell here. When I did the recent video on Benson, Arizona's murals done by Doug Quarles, I was particularly fascinated. Well, I loved them all. I was fascinated by his Mormon Battle of the Bulls mural. I have seen the marker, Battle of the Bulls, down on the San Pedro River on the Bridge to Nowhere, which I also did a video on. And I didn't realize it was really bulls that they were fighting. Made me want to do a little bit more research. And if you haven't seen that video, there was a Mormon Battalion that was commissioned by the president. It was a volunteer unit of approximately 500 members of the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saint, LDS, Mormon, however you want to refer to them, who served in the American War from 1846 to 1847. It was organized as a plan to assist the United States government in its efforts to secure the Southwest region, which included present-day Arizona. Several members of the Mormon Battalion were among the original settlers of St. David in the late 1800s, and they helped establish the town. The Battle of the Bulls is about the only battle that this battalion was involved in, but it was important enough. In December 1846, while they were en route to California to fight in the war, they crossed the San Pedro River, and it says near the present-day town of Benson. And they encountered a large herd of wild bulls that were blocking their path. The bulls were known to be particularly aggressive and dangerous, and the soldiers were forced to find their way around them. As they were attempting to bypass the bulls, it is said, soldiers began taunting them, which made the situation only more dangerous. So they became increasingly agitated, the bulls. According to some accounts, the soldiers formed a makeshift barricade using their packs and guns and were able to fend off the charging bulls. Other accounts suggest that several soldiers were injured. In the mural, it does show injuries to the soldiers. It was a significant event in the history of the Mormon Battalion and the settlement of the West, and highlighting the dangers and challenges faced by the soldiers as they traveled through unfamiliar and often hostile territory. Kind of researched further what these bulls were doing wandering around greater downtown desert Arizona. It's thought that they were likely descendants of Spanish cattle that had been introduced to the Americas by Spanish colonizers in the 16th century. Over time, the cattle had become feral and adapted to living in the wild. They were able to thrive in the harsh desert environment of the American Southwest and could graze on native grasses and other vegetation. There's a suggestion they weren't actually aggressive or dangerous. However, they were made so, at least during that, and they felt threatened. You'll drive this way if you're heading to Tombstone. Everybody comes through here if they're heading to Tombstone. This is the way to Tombstone. Pistachio Nut Guy is at the end of the road. It just as you come around Pistachio Nut Guy, you know where you are. This is the Goodman family. They're very prominent here. Oh, and here are the Murals, also prominent. Philemon Mural, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right, really came and established St. David. He was a member of the Mormon Battalion. He came through here, they stayed here, and then he came back, I think. But this is going to be predominantly Mormon families, LDS families, Latter-day Saints, however you wish to refer to them. A few Hispanic. And the Goodmans are definitely a prominent Mormon family here. Born in Fairbank, Arizona in 1930. That is what we call a ghost town now. Oh, Cochise County Sheriff's Captain. A lot of these people served in the military. I think Judd is a pretty well-known Mormon name here. And there were a lot of Judds. Too bad they could use a little bit of water, but I guess they're not gonna go that direction, huh? Mural is a descendant of one of the original founders, as are these Murals. Coming over here because I think I saw this on a photograph. Okay, well, let us stop for the wildflowers. Oh, goodness, I love those things. Kirchner. They owned a lot of land around the Whetstone Mountains, if not most of the Whetstone Mountains. McRae is a very prominent name here in St. David, is one of the original families to settle. Look at this beautiful thing. Oh, it's done by Doug Quarles. I wondered if it was. Just had his look. Isn't that beautiful? Goodness, that man is so prolific. Let me see if I can get back here. There we are. I've got the whole thing. And what is that? Is it a time capsule? Mayberry. If you need medical care here, Mayberry's your man. Family, descendants of the original. Not even descendants. (1867), so they are the children of the original settlers. Joe Roberts' baby. Those are cast in cement and kind of imprinted. 1901. And Mural. Dan Eldridge. Well, these are the original stones, I presume. Somebody was casting them in concrete. Unknown. McMullen passed away in 1887. William Short passed away in 1904. As a genealogist, or amateur genealogist, I have wandered a lot of cemeteries. I do love seeing the old stones. So many of them are, look at all these beautiful flowers. So many of them are weather beaten. The elements have just worn away at them. I don't mean Arizona, Virginia, everywhere. Unknown baby. There's a little one that's missing. Dudley Merrill. So many unknown babies. They're going to go by records, so they're going to keep pretty decent records, would be my guess. You know that is an LDS thing. Isn't the right word, but you know what I mean. They keep track. It's about 83 out today. All right. St. David Fort painting by Barry Judd. Footprint of the foundation of the St. David Fort, and that's what this is supposed to be out here. Built by Mormon settlers as a defense against Apaches, it also served as their home, school, and church. The U-shaped structure consisted of 8 16 by 16 foot rooms, one per family. Livestock and wagons could be gathered in, and a makeshift fence of poles assembled to close the entrance in the event of an attack. About 300 yards away, freshwater springs supplied water. The settlers had been called by Brigham Young, president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They arrived at the San Pedro River on November 29, 1877, and consisted of the families of Philemon C. Merrill, Joseph McCrae, Dudley J. Merrill, Seth Adelbert Merrill, Orrin D. Merrill, Thomas S. Merrill, George E. Steele, and Almon Obadiah Williams. The fort's original position was about 1/8 of a mile to the southwest. The outline and this podium were built out of original chalk rock from the fort by the St. David Cemetery Association on the St. David Heritage and Cultural Arts Society in 2013. Southwest, 1/8 of a mile southwest. That is west, that is south. So over there, as you see the riparian, of course you don't see the riparian, the green trees on a diagonal, that's the San Pedro River, and that is where it would have been. And those trees wouldn't have been there because everybody would have chopped them down. We know that. So this has been recreated. Very nice. So it would have been over there along the San Pedro. As you all know, the bright green ones are cottonwoods. That means there's a water source all through there and there. There are a lot of springs, like I said, in here. And I was just driving off and spotted this. Obviously, they're expanding out a little bit. This has kind of got a more modern touch to it. Oh, photograph. Wow. That's gorgeous. What a great place. The Perez family is here, and the Gonzalez family are here. And these beautiful wildflowers are here. The next time you drive through St. David on your way to Tombstone, just remember it's the Mormon Settlement on the San Pedro River, and it's got a long history, much longer than Tombstone.